You don't have to do
It
anything.
was kind of slow. Remember, I was getting my FiberX installed earlier today, so I was still having internet.
I'm sorry about that.
My internet was still
Loud.
unstable, so the dialer kept on logging me out, so I had to log back in. But I had a chance to set up a couple appointments for one appointment for Jimmy,
Yes, ma'am.
and then another appointment on,
okay?
I believe on the warm calls.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is your
Yes,
installed now?
correct.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
correct.
I have the FiberX and I have a backup here.
Okay. Is it
All
working better?
right, you
so
have a
far?
beautiful day and happy
Yeah,
holidays.
it's working great.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. And what's
Yes,
your focus
ma'am.
for
Bye-bye.
today?
Same thing on a daily basis, but plan on putting on more hours.
What's your goal?
calls,
How many hours of calling do you think you're gonna do today?
I'm targeting maybe 7 hours.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be good. You
Seven
know,
hours.
kind of make up a little bit for some of the time that you've missed, at least for the next few days. You know, try to get a good number of hours, and that'd be good.
Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
And,
Kid, how about you? Oh, sorry, Marco.
Sorry, John. Now with the Binghamton list that I'm working on, I think I worked them out pretty good. It's exhausted already. Been around it like 7 or 8 times. So
Yeah.
should I continue?
Yeah, just
to,
continue. I mean, I know it kind of sucks, you know. But can you add in when you're calling Binghamton, also call the Binghamton leads in Podio?
Yeah. I have to search manually, right? With
No, there's a view that we've set up because I added a button for Binghamton. Can you?
Okay.
I feel you're gonna knock this thing over.
Me?
Yes, you're like super close to it. I don't know. I think this is just like sort of rethink kind of what's happening here. I'm sure you can figure something out. You're sort
Should
of
I
knocking
make a
this shit
move?
over. I don't know. I think there's a solution, and I'm sure. I
I don't-
think you're very competent. Maybe we'll find it.
I'll just not move from this position, or then.
Okay, so you're just going to continue with that position?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So that's the solution. Yeah, Mark, so in Podio, there's a button for Binghamton. So you can create a Binghamton view in Podio. Do you know how to create views in Podio or no?
Okay. No, have no
All right,
experience
that's
in doing
fine.
that.
Mark, email me and remind me, and I'll get that set up. So you can call through the Binghamton list, because I know there's not that much, and then also you can call through all the existing leads in Podio that we still need to get a hold of.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and email you later.
Yeah, well, email me just as soon as you can to remind me. Just say, please set up
Yeah.
Binghamton view.
Okay.
It might already be set up, but
It may already be even in there, Mark, but whatever. Just email me and I'll tell you how to find it.
Sure.
Okay. Yazi, how was yesterday for you, and what's like the most important stuff to get done today? I think you're on mute, Yazi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So yesterday I took care of all those Slack broadcast thing, voicemails that we were behind on. All Weekly is done, and Nerdy and Divorce that was also done.
Did all those voicemails get out?
Yeah, it's going out noon. One is going out noon, and one is going out 1 p.m.
And so, and what are the lists that we're sending to?
We are sending to the all combined list for the last week that have your regular, land records, probates, and other stuff. And then we are sending out NODs and divorce, which we missed out on last week when we ordered them. So they all will go out today.
Okay, good.
And
You haven't
all
done
the- all
Audantic
the-
yet, have you? The new Audantic list? That's a big one. You haven't done that yet, right?
no, yeah, I'm going to add that today in Mojo and also take care for.
Yeah, put it in Mojo only for now. That's such a big list that we'll probably want to break it up and just do like 5,000 a week, let's say. So just do the first 5,000, Yazi, on Audantic, and then we'll do 5,000 a week on that. So this is such a large list.
Okay.
And then the combining all the lists together, Yazi, you'll text me when that's done for the month.
I guess I'm still working on the formatting now, but
Okay.
that's the major thing.
Yeah, and Yazi, I'm fine with them uploading it directly, like to save you time. That way it doesn't have to all go through you. So you'll just have to check it and just kind of manage the VAs who are pulling the list to find out who made the mistake, and email them and copy me and say, just please be careful next time not to do this, and just make sure they, that you give them some guidance and you show them that we're watching, like, and we know if you did do it right.
Sure.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Ankit, how about you? What's
John,
Yep.
yeah, it's been a lot of time. I've got an appointment, so I'm a little worried. Plus, there have been so many voicemails the last few weeks, and also most of the contacts I'm getting, they're just just putting up a new date in place, maybe after the holidays, or they're just saying that some of them says not interested at all. Though I've spoken to them a few months back, maybe in the month of July or August, and they said to call me, follow up after 2-3 months, but still no luck at all.
Well, how many appointments have you got in the last 2 weeks? Andrew, do you know? Or Ankit, maybe you know. Yeah.
Last 2 weeks, I can just check.
Okay, and while you're checking that, one thing, Yazi, Yazi, do you have a headset that you can use when you're making phone calls that would be better quality than your the wire one?
I actually use my iPhone.
Oh, you do? Use that directly? Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
For the video.
Yeah, if you need a headset, you can get
I do
one.
have one headset, but it's like messed up.
Okay, yeah, I mean, if you want to buy another one, we have one that's like $80. So if you need it, let us know and we can buy that for you.
You got one appointment.
Okay, Ankit's got one appointment in how long?
Last 14 days, it's 4 appointments, and the last one, as you know, it was December 4th.
Yeah, so Andrew, what do you think is going on? Is it an issue with the list?
I mean, he's hit that same list like 20 times.
And a lot of it, we just do that because, they either buy or die, right? Like, they're either going to schedule an appointment for us, or we're going to buy the house, or we're just going to call them forever. So to some extent, that's going to happen. But obviously, it is concerning. I'd be concerned as well, not getting the appointment scheduled. Do you have any other ideas? Andrew?
Just the holiday thing is a little bit I found since Thanksgiving, really, it's been a lot harder to schedule stuff.
Have you allocated Casey's warm leads and stuff?
No, I need to.
And Cody's? Okay. Can you have like Jane or Sarah or someone help you?
Yeah, I could.
Okay, so can you make a note?
Yeah, I have
to do that? Okay, so Ankit, we'll get you some new leads to call to add in as well, and we'll see if that helps.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I did see a few leads from Andrew this week and last week as well. So I'm sure I'm going to get more as the time passes, and I'll try my best to get appointments as I've been doing in the past.
Right.
And once it's more than 6 days, then it's a point of concern. So that's the thing. Plus as I sent you that email that day, the appointment per hour has raised to 3.87.
Yeah.
And I used to keep it less than 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3.87 is too much.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for bringing that up, and yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. And how many hours a day are you calling, Ankit, on average?
On an average, it's 3 hours.
Okay.
2 hours in the morning time, and 1.5 hours in the evening time. Some days it goes up to 3.5.
Okay.
But on an average, it's 3 hours per day.
Is that what we want, Andrew?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Andrew says it's good.
If you want to do more.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to do, if you want to do closer to 4, you can. It's up to you. If you don't have time, that's fine. Do you have another job too, Ankit, that you're doing?
Yes, John. I've been doing a full-time job. It's for 8 hours.
Okay.
But as I discussed with you when I started working, that I can spare these hours each day.
Is that a virtual job or a local job?
No, it's through Upwork.
Okay. All right. So Andrew will give you some more leads, and we'll see if that helps. And yeah, just keep an eye on it. And if it's still not working, bring it to our attention. Have you found the training has helped you at all, Ankit, or not? The sales training?
Absolutely. And this is the first time I've joined this training, so Hopefully, there would be more things to learn. And when the trainings happen with Andrew, I really miss them. The last time I missed it, so I really apologize for it. However, I do not miss any meetings with Andrew, and it's absolutely helpful.
Good. Okay. Good. Sarah, how about you? How was yesterday, and what's the main focus for you for today?
Yesterday, I mainly created 3 planners for 3 properties, Merrimack, Perrywood, and Paula Lane. I also created the advertisements for Merrimack property. I answered John's emails and voicemails, so that's what I did yesterday. Today, I have already answered all the emails you got on John's email. There are a couple that are I have bookmarked, so you can review them. So basically, 4 people are going to they are willing to buy the Perrywood property without even seeing that. So I think I suggested them to make an offer anyway,
Yeah, exactly.
submit an offer, and we'll consider them as priorities.
Yeah.
But one person already submitted an offer,
Okay.
so I think you are going to review it. It's for $250,000.
It's for 250, and what's our asking price on that one?
It is $294, I think.
And they offer 250.
That's right.
Okay, yeah, that offer is too low. Just so you know, I'll start training you on the offers, right? So if they don't get, so that's what we would call a bullshit offer, like someone who's just hoping that that's a stupid offer. They're basically wasting our time. It makes me annoyed. So how I would respond to that is, I'm just going to counter them at our asking price. So we're asking a certain price, they're giving me an offer way, way below it, and I'm going to respond to them with our asking price.
Okay.
Right? Because they're just wasting our time. So you don't have to do it, just so you know what's going on. With that, like if it's way below, it's not something that we're going to accept.
Okay, so right now there are no new emails. I have checked a call fire. There was one person who asked to stop messaging him. I did that too. So there was one voicemail in Google Voice, and I have opened it. I don't know how to make it unread, so I sent you an email that you might want to consider calling this person. They want to work with you.
Okay.
So that's what I did already for today, and I'm planning to advertise the Perrywood property because the email has already sent. But I have noticed that the call fire text blast has not been sent for Perrywood. Are you planning to send it out already?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it out. That's on my list of things to do, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna decide when I want to send it, and if I do send it, I'll let you know. The reason why is we just sent a text campaign on Monday for Merrimack, so we don't want to send too many in a row. So I'm gonna decide when to send that out, and I may not send it at all. But if I do send it, I'll let you know, so you know to check call fire and stuff.
Okay, so one thing, yesterday when I set up this cold fire text blast, I excluded all the people who asked not to bother them. So today we just got one person asking the same thing. So I haven't excluded it from the contacts list for Perrywood. So I can update the contacts list if you want to.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea to update it.
Okay, I'll exclude that one person. And one more thing, I haven't responded to this message yet, but Amanda, our showing person, copied you all. So on Thursday, there are going to be 2 property showings, one at 12, at 1 at 1.
Yeah.
And Amanda is going to do that, and she says that she might not be able to manage to do them. So.
Yeah, so we talked about this. We want Connor
Yeah,
to
it's
do
because
one.
she invited her to the planner, and then
Okay.
I sent an email. We're gonna have Connor do the.
So which one's
first one.
Connor doing?
The first one.
Okay. So Sarah, you can let Amanda know she doesn't. So you need to tell Sarah like who's doing the showings though.
Yeah, it was in the email.
Okay. So Sarah, just make sure. Andrew said I guess it was in the email. It's okay. Maybe it was or wasn't, or maybe you missed it. Doesn't.
She was just
matter.
doing like the normal process of like inviting Amanda to the calendar.
Okay. So from now on, let's change the process, Sarah, where we'll only invite Amanda, our showing person, if Andrew confirms that, or Kevin confirms that she's doing the showing. If you don't know who's doing the showing, email me and Andrew to ask.
Yeah, yesterday I did it, and I was confirmed that Amanda is doing both showings.
Okay. Yeah, Andrew. So what? So what happened?
I emailed saying when we got Perrywood set up, I said we have Perrywood set up. it was like an email with Connor and Kevin and
And was Sarah on that email?
I'm almost positive.
Okay, well, forward that email to Sarah and show her where, and copy me to make sure.
Okay.
So Sarah, we're just gonna make sure that we figure it out, but it's not a problem. But we want to Andrew will be telling you in emails just so you know who's doing the showing. If it's going to be someone Connor and Kevin or Greg's person Paula, then he'll tell you that, and then in that case you don't have to invite Amanda. So we'll make sure that we're just telling you so you know. So we'll handle the thing with Amanda.
Okay, I really don't want to bother you with these steps because sometimes when I ask, I also look in Podio. So I don't know whether I need to look in Podio or wait for some instructions.
So Andrew, how do you want to do it? We should probably just do it in Podio, that way we're not emailing back and forth. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So Andrew will update Podio with the information. If it's not updated, then I would say email Andrew and Kevin and ask them. So check in Podio first and go with whatever Podio says. So Andrew, you got to make sure this stays up to date. And then if it's not in Podio, then email Andrew and Kevin.
Okay, so basically today I just need to advertise one property and follow up with the emails and voicemail. Nothing else to do. If you have something else for me, you can just send it to me.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's everybody, right? Did I miss anyone? On the call at least. Okay. So anyone that's not on the sales training, so Sarah and Yazi, you guys could leave now. And then Ankit and Mark, you guys can stay on. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, bye.
Bye. Kevin, how about you? What's your focus for today?
I'm calling all day just to get back into our rotation since I missed yesterday. Just signed up one for Fort Washington lady. She's ready to sell. She said she couldn't really get with us until after Christmas, but I locked in Friday the 28th. So I'm pretty much going about eight hours of cold calling a day just to kind of revamp from last week. Because I mean I called through list, but the same thing. I gave them the bubbly personality. I gave them everything, but I only got like one appointment, which is highly unusual for me. So today,
well, what percentage of your calling last week was on that weekly list, and what percentage was on other lists?
Honestly, I'd say, well, each day I called a different list, so I wasn't on one list, for that entire week. So each day I called a different list, and
okay, so each day called different. Okay.
Yeah.
So. This week focus on the last, this week's list first.
Yeah, exactly.
And then after you've called through that like 3 or 4 times,
right,
and the response really starts dropping down.
Yeah.
Then go back to the last week's list.
Okay.
So let's focus on that. And I gave you. Did you see the priorities list that I gave you? Okay.
Yes.
And why isn't Joe on this?
He sent an email saying like he had to take his wife to the doctor and he'd be hopping on late.
Okay. So let's focus on that and then let me know how that goes.
Absolutely.
And then did Kevin need any feedback on his appointments, or was it too early to say?
No, yesterday we were just saying that it's like one thing we've noticed, and I think I brought this up with you, is that a lot of guys are, like a lot of people, they seem like perfect leads and prospects, but then all of a sudden at the end they'll just drop that they want like way more than ARV. And we've noticed
that. And more than Zillow value, right?
Yeah, like way more than Zillow. So like Zestimate will be 290 or 300 or 50 or something, it'll say like 500. And we've noticed that's happened a lot, but we were trying to figure out if it's like maybe something, how you're talking to them, or...
Well, first of all, have you noticed that people are giving you high prices?
It was only about 3 appointments, and that was because I asked them what they were looking for the house, which is in the script.
Yeah.
But I noticed when I didn't ask, then they didn't really say.
That's okay. We want to know what they have in mind, no matter what.
Okay.
So we want to know.
Okay.
When they give you a high number, how do you respond? So let's say you say, so how would you ask the question? Let's role play real quick.
I'd say, so the first thing I would ask is how much you owe. Okay. So what would you say you owed on the house?
Like $50,000.
Okay, no problem. Do you know what the houses are going for in the area?
I think the one across the street, so let's, out of role play, let's say that the Zillow value is $400,000. Well, I know the one across the street went for like $525.
Okay. Is that round about the price that you're looking for?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd like to get that.
Okay. And then that's That's kind of the part.
And,
that
and then what happens? Just so.
so then I said, okay, no problem at all. Well, I mean, it could be doable, but we'd have to see the house first. I'll be in the area.
All right, so just one other thing that you want to do. After that, you want to ask them, if you can, without losing the appointment. So if they say like, oh yeah, I like that. Oh, like is yours in a similar condition to like what that one is sold for?
Okay.
You can ask questions like that.
Okay.
You can ask a question like, for like a cash offer, like what I would do, and a quick closing. What do you think is the least that you would kind of consider?
Okay.
That's a good standby question. And Mark and Ankit too, right? So for a cash offer that I would do, that where we close fast, or I close fast. So keep in mind, if you're pitching it as you are the investor, you say I. If you're saying that you work for an investor, you can say we, but don't switch back and forth. Keep it the same the whole time. But so that's what you can ask, is what was the least you would take for a cash offer? Like we close fast, you don't have to do any kind of repairs to it. What do you think is the least you consider?
Okay.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't have any canned, statements. I just pretty much.
That's okay. That's why we're going through it.
And Mr. Turdy, I was talking to him on the phone about it yesterday, and to see if he had any ideas. And he was saying like one of the things you can do is like, oh, my neighbor sold for $525, and then you can. He was saying maybe like pull up Zillow and be like, oh yeah, I'm looking at it now. Do you have any idea like what the address was so I can check it out? Like that sounds like could be a good comp, but I'm not seeing it here. Like, could you? And just try and like basically just try and like cast doubt on them a little bit on their numbers. I don't know if cast doubt's the right word, but like
I get you. I
kind
get
of
you.
just like poke
You
them
can probe
about
a little
it.
more, and
Yeah.
then you can look it up in Zillow.
Sure.
And I mean, and are you aware on all your calls, and Ankit and Mark, are you aware what the Zillow value is on all the calls?
Yeah,
Okay. And so
absolutely.
you know if they give you a number that's like at the
yeah.
Zillow value or over.
Absolutely.
And are you guys aware that Zillow value is basically generally what the house in a renovated top of the line condition would sell for? That's typically what the Zillow value is. So the Zillow value, so if they give you something over Zillow value, they really want, like, generally, not all the time, but most of the time, more than even in a fully renovated condition what the house would sell for. So they're way out to lunch on it.
Sure.
So just be aware of that when they're giving you numbers, and you can just probe and see like if they would take less. You can ask what kind of condition. If they give you a specific house, what kind of condition was that house in, Mr. Seller? Was it like renovated, or was it like as is? I'm just curious. I'm gonna try to look it up. What was the address? Like Andrew saying, what's the address of the house? And then you can ask if their house is in the same condition as the one that's sold.
Okay. So.
You don't have to do a lot of that, but if you have enough rapport where you won't lose the appointment, then try to do it. If you're barely getting the appointment, then don't bother with it. Just get the appointment.
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, I'm trying to get as many as I can. But
Yeah, that's the priority.
question, like a guy that said he wanted 500,000, I pulled it up. It says 350. Would it behoove me, or would it be wise to say
So the
that?
Zillow value is 350.
Yeah.
He said he wants 500.
Yeah. Can
Okay.
I say that, or like would that be
So
a bad practice?
Well, so he said he wants 500. So how did he say it? Like, do you remember?
I basically said, is that round about the price that you're looking for? He said yes. I'm already
Is
looking
what
at
round about the price you're looking for?
500.
Well, so just role play real quick back and forth. How did the 500 come up?
So I said, are you familiar with what the houses are selling for in the area? Person next door sold for 550. Is that round about the price that you're looking for? Yeah, but by that time I've already got Zillow up saying it's 379.
Right. So that's all the stuff that we're talking about basically would come into play.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So for example, so in that scenario, right? So Mark and Ankit, this guy said the one my neighbor sold for 550, and the Zillow value is only 375. So 550 is probably super duper nice, renovated, beautiful, amazing house where they spent $200,000 to renovate it, right? And I'm sure the person we're talking to isn't like that. So what's something that you could, so just like role play? Yeah, 550. Yeah, I think that's about what I want.
Yeah. Are you familiar with your neighbor sold for next door? Or is your house in similar condition?
You sold for 550, like I said.
Okay. Is your house in similar condition?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really see the inside of it.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm looking here and I'm to be honest with you, I feel like that 550 is probably for like renovated. Is your house fully renovated?
Okay. You don't want to start arguing with them.
Okay.
So don't tell them like what you think or whatever. You just want to ask questions.
Okay.
So he says my neighbor's house sold for $550.
So I should probably.
So first of all, I asked what kind of
condition?
condition was your? Oh, so okay, cool. What kind of condition was it in? Do you know? Like, was it fully like renovated,
Okay.
or like was it as is? Like, do you know what kind of condition it was in? Just
Okay.
ask the question.
Okay.
You're gonna say, oh, I know that it was renovated. I know it was super nice.
Okay.
Okay, got it. And then what could you ask after that? And anyone on the call can talk to. What would you ask after that?
What would be the least they would consider if it was a cash?
No.
Okay.
So I'm saying this one is renovated. What's the next logical question
If
you
it
want
was
to ask?
renovated.
Right.
Yeah.
So what kind of condition is yours in? Is yours
Yeah.
renovated too?
Yeah.
Is yours like in that condition?
Gotcha.
And what if they say, oh no, mine, I haven't updated it in a while. It's not like that. Then what could you ask?
What type of updates would you need, or what type of work needs to be done to kind of build this?
You can ask what kind of work would need to be done. What else could you ask? And Mark and Anki, you can talk if you know.
Yeah, what condition is the house in? Maybe we can ask a few more questions about if he has done any repair work since he purchased it, if he has updated a few things, maybe, or and we can push it up if for an appointment in that case, because he's saying that my house is not renovated, so we can come by and meet you at the property and we can look it up and give you an offer.
That's right. That's right. So that's all right. And again, only do this if you won't lose the appointment. But to try to get a better, more realistic number from what the seller will take, how can we do that, right? So they said my neighbor sold for $550. So you ask, okay, what kind of condition was your neighbor's house in? Oh, well, it was fully renovated. Then you ask, well, what kind of condition is yours in? Well, it's not renovated. Okay, well, what stuff needs to be done to the house? You can ask that. And then what else can you ask to try to get a better idea of what their number should be?
I mean, based on that, I would say, well, based on what your neighbor's house sold for and what you know needs to be done, is that a number that you would still be looking for from anybody that would come in to want to make you an offer?
What's better than a yes or no question? So that's the right idea.
Okay.
We don't want to say, is that? We don't want to say any yes or no questions.
Okay.
You can say the same question, just phrase it differently.
Okay. So, based on what you know about your house, what price would you want?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's basically it, right? So, okay, so your neighbor's is renovated,
Yeah.
sold for $550.
Gotcha.
Yours is not renovated. You said you would like $550, and I understand that. I mean, we don't want the highest
Yeah.
price, Mr. Seller. But given the condition of your house,
Right.
what do you think realistically, like, it would go for on the market?
Yeah. Gotcha.
Right? So you're asking about the neighbor's house, they mentioned. You're asking about their house. They're saying my house is worse. So clearly they can't still want the same price as what the fully renovated one. That doesn't make
Absolutely.
sense. So you say, so given that yours is not in that same shape, what do you think that yours is really worth?
Right.
In the condition it's in now, today.
Right.
In the condition it's in now, today. So we're trying to get basically them to start giving us more realistic numbers.
Yep.
So Ankit and Mark, only do this if you're not going to lose the appointment. If you're barely getting the appointment, just get the appointment, don't worry about this. But this is
Right.
like the next level kind of stuff to try to actually get better numbers from sellers. So it's good for you
Yeah,
to at
yeah.
least be aware of it.
Yeah, but still, this is helpful. So we may be able to use it as well. So
So why don't we do a quick role play on that? So Mark, why don't we do a quick role play on it with you? So why don't you just get to the point in the script where you kind of ask me what price I'm looking for, and then let's kind of
Okay.
role play. Actually, Andrew, why don't you be the seller? And then let's kind of role play it. So Andrew, why are you sitting over there? Do you need to be sitting over there?
Well, I thought we were gonna listen to Mojo.
Oh yeah, we're gonna listen to Mojo. So that's why. So that's fine. So just come over here though. So Mark, just pick it up from the script where you ask like what. Thank you. Where you ask what price, that the seller's looking for. Andrew's ready.
So Andrew, do you know the prices that's going around in your neighborhood, or do you have a price in mind?
Yeah, I have a price in mind.
Okay. Sorry, I kind of mental block there for a
That's
minute.
okay. If you want to start over, that's fine. Or just pick it up wherever.
Okay. Yeah, so Andrew, do you know the prices that's going around in the neighborhood? Do you have a price in mind you're willing to get for your property?
Yeah, I have an idea.
Okay. Any rough estimation on how much you're willing to get for it, or?
Well, my neighbors sold for $575 a year or two ago, so.
Okay, so 575. We may be able to work something out. Do you know what kind of condition your neighbor's house was in? Has it been renovated recently, or do you know?
I'm not really sure. Mine's bigger, but I don't know about renovation.
Okay, so with that being said, your house hasn't been renovated recently. So what needs to be done to the house? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I mean, it's in good condition. I haven't, it's not like top of the line, but it's in good condition.
Okay, I see. So now your neighbor's house might be fully renovated. I mean, if it's in that price range, but yours might not be renovated as of yet. But what do you think yours is really worth in the condition it is now?
Well, theirs sold for $575, like I said, and mine's bigger, so I would want at least that.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, it really depends on the condition of the property. I mean, if it's in pristine condition, then yeah, we can work on a pretty good offer for you. So, what will be the least you can consider? Because we can close as fast as 5 days.
I don't really know. I mean, what's your offer?
Okay, well, Andrew, in order to provide you an offer accurate to the penny, we would need to come by to take a look at it, to take a look at the interior. So, that way we can provide you an offer accurate to the penny and written and hand it to you. So, would you be available, say, next Thursday for us to drop by for like 5 minutes?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you handled that pretty well, Mark. I mean, Andrew was
just need a little polish up.
Yeah, Andrew was being difficult, but I mean, you do a good job because you add in you do the trailing or question. So were you looking for around what your neighbor sold for, or?
Yeah.
Right, when you do the or, it's a good technique. It makes it softer, right? You used words like just out of curiosity, right? So you're doing a good job at softening your questions, right? Which might put a seller defensive, and you're sensing when they will, and you're making your question softer. So you're doing a good job with that. And I thought you came back at him, a few times to try to cast a little bit of doubt on what he was saying. So I thought you did pretty well. He wasn't giving you much to work with, and then that's the point where I would go for the appointment, just the way you did. So,
right.
You got to the point where you sort of ran out of ideas, and there wasn't a whole lot I could have thought of as well at that point. So at that point, just go for the appointment. So your instinct was right there as well.
Yeah, felt like I didn't have nowhere else to go. I'm
Right.
like, okay, I'll just go for the appointment.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, Andrew, what else did you, there are probably some little technique things that we can do.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to say is at the beginning, I do this a lot too, it's hard to not just fall into it, is the way you asked. You said, do you know what houses are selling for? Like, do you have an idea what you want? Remember, we don't want to do yes or no questions, because then that's why I was just like, yes, I do, I have an idea. You want to ask it in a way where they have to talk. So like, what are houses selling for in that area? Or like, what price did you have in mind for your property? Instead of like, do you know what you want?
Just ask. So what are houses selling for in your area? Straight up like that.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. And you can like lead into it. Like, I got a question for you. What are houses selling for in that neighborhood? You can like do a little intro thing like that, so it's not just like out of the blue. But I think it's fine if it is. Just like,
Yeah, it's okay to out of the blue too.
what are the houses selling for?
Yeah, so I agree with that. Generally, try to make every question open-ended versus a yes or no question. Right, so Ankit, just to bring you into this too, Ankit, give me an example of an open-ended question, Ankit, and then give me an example of a yes or no.
Yes or no question would be, would you like to meet us on Thursday at 2:00?
Yep.
Yes or no?
Yep.
And an open-ended question would be something like asking about the house. Maybe you can give me some information about the house or that sort of thing, as we discussed that day. So that can be an open-ended question, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, that's right. So what's the basic difference between open-ended and yes or no?
A yes or no would be straightforward. The seller can say a yes or no depending upon the situation. An open-ended question would be he would have 2 or 3 things to say. Maybe if he has done some work to the house, maybe if he's looking for some more money for the house, like these type of questions, open-ended questions, leaves him with 2 or 3 options. And open-ended would be just yes or no. Oh, sorry. Closed-ended question would be yes or no.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yep. That's right. Kevin, how about you? Give an example. So ask the same question, Kevin, open-ended and closed-ended.
Okay.
Same question.
Okay. What are houses selling for? Do you know what the houses are selling for in the area? Just closed-ended. What are the houses selling for in the area?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that'd be a good example. What are houses selling for in the area is open-ended. Do you know what houses are selling for in your area is closed-ended. So try to make sure every question you ask is open-ended. Pretty much.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. That's good. Why don't we listen to some recordings now? We've got like 15 minutes left.
I got
John, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Most of the times in bomb calling, most of the times the sellers, when they say they're not interested, is there anything more we can do? Because if they say not interested, then it's certainly closed in front of us if they say not interested. So is there anything more we can do towards it?
Yeah, so the question that we try to ask is, so that's a good point, right? Because at the beginning, it is a closed-ended question. Would you be interested in selling?
Yeah.
So that's one of the few times when actually closed-ended does make sense. So that's kind of an exception to the rule, but that's smart that you pointed that out. So that I still think is fine, right? To still the same intro question about would you be open. So one way to make it a little more open-ended is, like, I'll say things like, would you be open to the possibility of selling your house? As opposed to, do you want to sell your house?
Got it.
Right, so would you be open? So that's still a yes or no question, but you're making it a little more open-ended because you're asking if they're open to the possibility, not if they want to sell or not. So it's still closed-ended because yes or no, but you're making it a little more open. And then the other thing, Ankit, is if they say no, then that's always when we're going to say, so who knows what we say when they say no to that initial call? And Kevin, you were saying it, but maybe Mark, or Ankit, too. So if someone on the intro says, no, I don't want to sell, right? You ask the question, do you want to sell? They say no. What do we want to come back with?
Are you sure you want to at least be curious of what my offer would be? I mean, it may be more than what you think.
Yep.
And if nothing else, it would be just for your future reference, and at least you would know what an investor will pay for it. And it would only take like 2 seconds.
Good. Yep.
So something like that.
Yep. Exactly. So that's what we come back with, right? So then we're kind of being like, are you sure you wouldn't at least be curious about? So it's still yes or no, but again, we're making it more open-ended. We're making it more open, even though it is a yes or no question. So Ankit, why don't we role play that too real quick, Ankit? So ask me if I want to sell, and then I'm going to tell you no, and then just kind of how you would come back at that.
Sure. Oh, hi John. My name is Adam. I'm calling about the house at 123 Main Street. I was just calling to check if you would be interested at all in accepting an offer on your property.
No.
Oh, okay. It will take just 2 minutes. If you would be curious to know what an investor can offer for your house.
That's the right idea, but we need to get it more dialed in how you're responding. And also, I would not say, Ankit, if you would be open to accepting an offer. We want to keep it more open-ended. Would you be open at all to the possibility of selling your house?
Would you be open at all?
Yep, to the possibility of selling your house, or you could say, would you be open at all to the possibility of hearing an offer on your house? So change it on the front end of that to make it softer. If you say, why is that better than, would you be open to accepting an offer? Or would you like?
Yeah. Yeah, possibility. The word actually is the right word. In that case, they might think of giving you an answer which could be a maybe
Right.
instead of a no.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's exactly right.
This can be applied absolutely, John, and I think this will make a difference. Also, if they say at the end we try our best, and then also they say a no, that no, I'm not interested at all. I'm not interested in selling it at all at any point. Maybe we can ask maybe in future if you have any plans to sell it. Just to take an idea, if we can follow up maybe 2-3 months down the line.
Yeah.
And even then, if they say a no, then there is nothing we can do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. So after you come back 2 or 3 times, you can ask, would you, maybe in the future, would you consider maybe selling in the future, do you think, or just like that? So yeah, you can ask that question. So Ankit, let's do it again. Just skip to the part where you ask me about if I want to sell or not, but use this new wording, and then let's practice when I say no, how you're going to come back with the whole thing about, are you sure you would at least be curious what an investor would pay? I mean, maybe it's more than what you think. It just takes a minute on the phone.
Yeah, correct. Hi, John. My name is Adam. I was calling about your house at 123 Main Street. I was just calling to check, would you be open at all, possibly accepting an offer on your house?
So what did you think about that? What did you say at the end?
Again, yeah, accept an offer on the house.
Right. I don't think you should say that anymore. I think it's too strong. So let's try it again.
Yeah, John, can you give me that once again? Would you be open at all?
Would you be open at all to possibly selling your house? Or would you be open at all to possibly hearing an offer on your house? Either of those two.
Okay. Okay, I'll start again, John. Yeah, hi, John, my name is Adam. I was calling about your house at 123 Main Street. I was just calling to check if you would be open at all, possibly selling your house.
I don't know. We've been thinking about it, but no, I don't really think we want to sell.
Oh, okay. It would take just 2 minutes if I'm sorry, I just lost it.
Yeah, you got to practice it more. And one other thing, Ankit, is don't say okay.
Sure.
So they tell you, I'm not really sure, don't say okay. You can just lead into it with, are you sure? So the response, so just don't say okay, just come back with, are you sure? And then you can go into it. Are you sure you wouldn't at least be curious to hear what an investor offer would be? I mean, the market's higher, maybe it's more than what you think. With that kind of tonality, you see the tonality, Ankit, as well?
Yeah.
You have to have that tonality where it's are you sure you wouldn't at least be curious? Almost like you're incredulous that they wouldn't at least want to hear it. Like you're surprised that they wouldn't at least want to hear an offer. So the tonality is very important.
Correct, I got it. Let me do that once again, John.
Okay.
Yeah, hi, John. This is Adam. I was calling about your house at 123 Main Street. I was just calling to check if you would be open at all of a possibility of selling your house.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, are you sure? You would want to know, at least what an investor would pay for your house?
That's more the right idea. So you just need to practice it more.
Sure.
But that's more the right idea. Be careful when you come back with, are you sure, that it's curious sounding and not challenging.
Yeah.
So when you said, are you sure, it sounded more like you were challenging the seller, which might make them defensive. Yours has to be very soft and curious, like, are you sure you wouldn't, right? Are you sure? Not, are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Not, are you sure? You see the difference? So you have to really pay attention to how you're sounding too. You want to be curious and soft about it, not challenging.
Correct. So straight away, are you sure? That would not be the right way. So it can be, are you sure?
Right. Are you exactly just like you did? Are you sure? you wouldn't at least be, right? And then you go into the whole thing.
Got it.
So write it down, Ankit. You need to make sure you're practicing this because you just need to go through it more, and then So those two things should help you. So let's listen to recordings here. We got like 10 minutes, I think. Oh, do you have a call, Kevin?
Yeah. So I'm always on VA2. You can do Gwendolyn Williams or Roger Kindler, whichever.
Okay.
Yeah, I started paying a lot more attention to. And this was you need the date.
Yeah. What was it like last week?
Yeah. So Gwen was 12/11, and Roger was 12/6.
Which one do you want to do?
It doesn't matter. I mean, they were both challenging calls, so they gave me kickback.
Hi, good morning. This is Kevin. I was calling about the house on Openview Lane. Hi, I apologize. I know
So pause it real quick.
Completely random.
So again, really important, right? Was when the seller responded, how did the seller sound? What was in the seller's mind when they responded?
Not another sales call.
Defensive.
Yeah, very defensive, but
Defensive, but did you think the seller felt like you were a cold caller?
no.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I don't think she did, do you?
I don't really remember.
All right.
Yeah, no, but
Don't get blacked out.
I wasn't paying attention enough to notice.
Yeah, so I think that she did not think you were, so that's good. I
Yeah.
think it was effective, right? So she's defensive. You can tell immediately she's going to be defensive, skeptical, which is very normal. But she didn't think that you were a cold caller. She was kind of like, what about it? What the hell do you want? So
Yeah.
that's actually a good reaction. So if so Ankit and Mark, if you're doing your opener right, you're going to get that, where they're like, okay, or or what about it?
Yeah.
That's a sign you're doing your opener well. If they're immediately like, I'm not selling, right? Then they know what this is about, and you sound like a cold caller. So you're not doing your opener right. Or if they're like, what do you want? I'm busy. That also probably means you probably sound like a cold caller, because they're immediately like, stop wasting my time. You want like where they're curious and they're ready to hear what you want. So you want where they're curious and ready to hear what you want. Okay, so let's keep going.
My wife and I actually own
Give me a louder.
properties in the area. If we happen to be driving to one of ours and notice stores on the way and figured we'd reach
Yeah, I
out
can barely
and see
hear it.
whatever we can sell it.
This is the loudest we have.
Oh, I have an agent.
Got it. Okay, so you already got the property listed with an agent?
This was a good one.
Yes.
Okay, no problem at all. And the only reason why I was asking, because when we had looked up the property, we didn't see any listings or anything like that, so I didn't know if you had an agent or if we could buy it from you directly. Did you have the agent's number? Maybe we could reach out to her and try to make an offer on the property?
What is your name?
My name's Kevin. Good morning, by the way. I'm sorry, I didn't know if I said that or not. But yeah, my name's Kevin. I'm a local investor. My wife and I, we actually own a couple rental properties throughout Upper Marlboro. And like I said, we were just riding through a couple neighborhoods to see what was going on with some of the properties. And like I said, noticed yours and figured we'd reach out to you.
Well, I can pass your name and number on to my agent.
Okay, pause here.
Sure.
So how did we think that? So let me ask this: what is the seller's mentality now at this point in the call? How did she start the call? Was she open or was she defensive, or was she? How was she at the start of the call?
She was, I would say defensive, but open.
Yeah, she was a little bit defensive, but not too bad. But
Yeah.
she was kind of able to listen to you. And how is she now in the call at this stage in the call?
I think that she was a little more defensive.
You think more defensive now than at the beginning?
Well, when I say defensive, I mean in terms of trying to let me know the status of the property, because she said that it was listed, but it wasn't, and I saw it as a pre-foreclosure. So I was just trying not to be too pushy, but pushy enough to see if she was trying to make a move on the property.
Right. So at this point in the call, when she's starting to try to give you an agent's information or something, is she open or is she more or less open than she was at the beginning of the call?
I'd say maybe 50-50. I couldn't really.
So you're saying the same, basically.
Yeah.
Andrew, is she more or less open?
I don't think she was really open. I think, you mean to like talking to him?
Right.
I mean, I think she wanted to sell, but not really wanted to talk to him.
Okay.
I think she
was
was
she
trying to
more or
play it
less
off.
open though than at the very beginning?
Well, from that regard, she was. I think she was open to talk, absolutely. But as far as
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Open to talk.
Oh yeah, I mean the entire time she was open. To
Yeah,
talk.
but that's the first thing is
Yeah.
just getting someone open to talking to
Yeah,
you. So at the
absolutely.
beginning, so is she more or less open to talking to you now than she was at the very beginning?
The entire time she was open to talk, absolutely.
But more or less open than at the beginning. When
Yes.
when you first did your first intro and she was like,
More than just yeah.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely. Yeah,
right.
she was more
So
open.
she's
I still felt like she was kind of like blowing him off, like, oh, you can talk to the agent.
yeah. So she's still so that's fine. But she's a lot more open, to
Yeah.
talking to you now than at the beginning.
Yeah.
So you had to kind of push through. She tried to brush you off immediately with,
Yeah.
oh, I have an agent, right, and kind of trying to hang up the phone. So you immediately came back at her, which is exactly what you need to do, right? And you were asking her about the agent or whatever you were talking about.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we want to know basically if she has a listing agreement signed,
Exactly.
or if she just like knows an agent
Exactly.
who maybe she would list it with, and that you basically got to that, so you did well. And now at this point, she's open to talking to you. So the first 30 seconds, 60 seconds of the call, all we're trying to do is get them open to talking to us.
Absolutely.
Don't even worry about if they want to sell or not. It doesn't fucking matter. It's a cold call. We just need to get them open to talking to us, and you accomplished that well. So yeah, I thought you did good in your intro. Sounded very genuine. And then when they ask what your name is, they don't care what your name is. What they're asking for is tell me who you are and why you're calling again. Does that make sense, Ankit and Mark?
Yeah.
Yes.
When they say what's
Correct.
your name or what company are you with, they're not asking that question. They're asking who are you and why are you calling?
Yeah.
So we're not with a company. My name's Kevin, and give your last name too. Give your last name. You can make it up. It doesn't matter. So give your first and last name. It sounds weird just say Kevin.
Okay.
So my name's Kevin. I'm not with a company. I'm Kevin Geronimo, and as I mentioned, I know it's a little strange, but like I said, my wife and I were just driving through, Upper Marlboro, right? It's great to give the name of their city like you did. That was good. Upper Marlboro, and we noticed your house and just was curious if you'd be open at all to selling. So you did you did it exactly right. Just give the last name.
Okay.
But that's what they're asking, guys. When they say, what company are you with, or who are you, or what's your name? Say, oh yeah, I'm sorry, maybe I didn't introduce myself. I apologize. I'm Adam Geronimo, or whatever name you want to give, right?
Kevin McAllister.
I'm just a local investor, and as I mentioned, I was driving around in city name, so give the city name, in Upper Marlboro, in Oxon Hill, in DC, and then just repeat your intro again, right? And then after you're done repeating your intro, what do we always do anytime we respond to a question or a concern? What do we always do?
Go back to the house.
Go back to the house, but how? How do we go back to the house? Every time we answer a question or concern, what do we do?
We put up another question.
Exactly. We give them a question. And so so with this agent, is it like listed now on the multiple listing service, like active with a signed listing agreement, or?
Yep.
Right. So anytime we respond to a question, concern, anything from a seller, what do we do?
Ask a question.
Ask a question. Anytime we respond to a question, concern, etc. from a seller, what do we do?
Ask a question.
And Mark, what do we do?
That's another question.
Ask a question. Right, this has to be like breathing to you. Anytime you say anything in response to what they say to you, you've got to ask a question.
Question.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so you've done well so far. That's good.
That's no problem at all. You ready?
Yeah, I can do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we'd love to definitely make an offer on the property as soon as possible.
Okay. I'll let
You
him
ready
know
for it?
today. I'll let him know today.
Absolutely, absolutely. You ready to take down my information?
You're Kevin, and I have your number.
Yeah, no, this is my office phone. I can give you my cell number just in case you wanted to try to reach me and I'm not here.
Okay. What is it?
It is 301 232
Okay.
4503, and that's Kevin McAllister.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess who should I be waiting to hear a call from?
His name is Timothy Johnson.
Okay, Kim Johnson.
Cedric Johnson.
No problem at all. Well, thank you so much, man. Like I said,
Okay, pause it. Is there anything else
have
that
quite a
happens?
few.
All right. So is she going to call you?
Her or Tim.
Is she going to call Ankit and Mark and give it to? Is she going to call you?
Yeah.
No. She's not going to call. All right. So it's better than nothing, but it's basically pointless. It's basically worthless, right? Giving anyone your information for them to call you, is that ever going to work, Ankit?
I don't think so.
No.
Because even if they take up our phone number and our name, they would, it's just 99.9% they would not call.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So it's better than nothing. So how could we have done that better, though, right? So back it up a little bit, just to like right before that part with what she said about the agent.
You ready?
Yeah, I can do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we'd love to definitely make an offer on the property as soon as possible. Got. Okay. I didn't know if I said that or not. But yeah, my name's Kevin. I'm a local investor. My wife and I, we actually own a couple rental properties throughout over Marlboro, and like I said, we were just riding through a couple neighborhoods to see what was going on with some of the properties, and like I said, noticed yours and figured we'd reach out to you.
Well, I can pass your name and number on to my agent.
Okay. All right. So
Cool,
let's
that's
pause
no problem at all.
So
You ready?
how could you? So what could you have said at this point?
At that point, I could have asked her, did she want to hear an offer on the property? I feel like I could have.
So just say it as if you were to say it to her. So pick it up from what she said, and you're talking to the seller. What you said.
Would you like to hear an offer for your property?
Well, I mean, you can just call. I can just have my agent call you, and you can tell him.
Sure. Well, I mean, I could let you know now if you have maybe about 2 or 3 minutes. I could tell you what we could offer you, and just so you know, if we were to purchase your property, you wouldn't have to worry about any closing costs or realtor fees. So maybe that may save you a couple dollars, when it comes time to closing.
Good. I think that's the right angle, right? So what I was waiting for. So that last part of what you said about, well, you can save some money. Why are we telling them that?
As a carrot, really, as a carrot, because they're getting more money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As a carrot, what I'm looking for is what's in it for them.
Yeah.
WIIFM. What's in it for them? WIIFM. So anytime you're asking them for something, you have to tell them what's in it for them to do it. So Kevin said, are you sure? I can just make you an offer. You don't want to hear right over the phone, because the reason is like if we work something, right, and then it's what's in it for them. You give them what's in it for them to take 2 minutes of their time. You're asking for something. What's in it for WIIFM? What's in it for them, right? So I thought that was exactly right.
Okay.
And also, you still don't understand what's happening exactly with this agent.
Yeah.
So what's some other things you could ask? So you're talking to the seller. What's some other stuff you would want to find out in this situation?
As far as the agent goes?
Yes. In the situation. Like where
have you signed a listing agreement with them?
Right, so that's number one.
Yeah.
You never asked that, right? So have you actually signed the paperwork, like the actual listing agreement with them, or you're just kind of talking to them and planning on having them list the house?
Okay.
So find out if they have a signed listing agreement. Why do we care if they have a signed listing agreement or not?
If they have a listing agreement, then there's nothing we can do anyway.
Right. If they have a signed listing agreement, there's nothing we can do anyways. If they don't have a signed listing agreement, what does that mean?
We can possibly get it for a listing, or depending on what the numbers are.
No, not we can get it for a listing. That's not why we care.
Okay.
Why do we So if it is listed, we have to go through their agent. If it's not listed,
Go directly to them.
we can go directly to the seller.
Yeah.
Right, we can go directly to the seller. And why is that why is that possibly better for the seller?
Because that's what's in it for them. And they could save on commissions as well as...
Right, they save the commissions.
Yeah.
So they always save the closing costs no matter what,
Okay.
whether they have an agent or not.
Okay.
They save the realtor commissions. How much are realtor commissions?
36%.
How much are realtor commissions that the seller pays?
3%.
Wrong. Ankit or Mark, how much are realtor commissions the seller pays?
I don't have a clue.
Okay, Ankit, do you know?
Really do not have an idea, John.
Andrew, how much does the seller pay?
6.
6.
6%.
Seller pays 6%. Write that down.
Okay.
Seller pays 6%.
Yeah.
The seller pays both for their agent 3% and the buyer agent 3%.
Okay.
Both sides come off the seller. So if they don't have a listing agreement signed, how much can a seller save if they don't work with their agent?
6%.
6%.
So they don't pay closing costs.
What?
Seller doesn't pay closing costs normally if they list it.
They always will when they list it. They won't if they sell it to us.
Oh, I thought you had just said.
No, I'm saying even if it's listed with an agent, if they sell it to us, we can pay their closing costs still.
Oh, okay.
A regular buyer, normal listing, will not pay
Got
their
it.
closing costs. So even if they are insistent on working with an agent, we can still save them money by us paying their closing costs.
Gotcha.
So if a seller has not signed a listing agreement, how much could they save?
6%.
Check.
Ankit, how much could they save?
6%.
Right. What's 1% of $100,000?
$1,000.
$1,000.
$1,000, yeah.
What's 6% of $100,000?
$6,000.
6,000.
Right. What if it's like a $500,000 house? That's like 30 grand. 6 times
30
5,
grand.
30 grand. So is
That's
30,
a lot of money.
Is 30 right? Is 30,000 a lot of money?
Right.
Right. So you can educate your seller. Hey, look, if you haven't signed the agreement yet, and I can make an offer that you want, you wouldn't have to pay realtor commissions. That could be, as you know, 6%. That could be $20,000, $30,000. Are you sure you don't have just 1 minute to at least hear my offer? I mean, what if I can offer you the same money you're going to get by selling on the market, and you can save $30,000? You get $30,000 more.
Yeah,
Would that be something that a seller might be interested in?
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah. So in this scenario, we want to find out, have you signed a listing agreement yet or not?
Okay.
We want to find out for sure, is the house listed on the market yet or not? Like, we don't know if it's listed, right?
Right. Yeah, I pulled it up.
Is the house listed on the market or not? So when you pulled it up on Zillow, was it listed? So then tell her that.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did.
Yeah, but it wasn't clear. Like,
Okay.
you didn't, you don't do it right at the beginning.
Okay.
Because what's the first 30 or 60 seconds that I said earlier? What's the point of the first 30 or 60 seconds of the call?
Just them filling you out. Well, not filling you
No,
out.
no.
But,
What's the point of the
knowing
first
that they
30 or
wanna
60
talk.
seconds of the
They
call?
wanna talk. And knowing that they want to talk.
Not knowing that they want to talk. What's our objective in the first 30 or 60 seconds of the call?
To keep them talking.
To
Get them
To get them
to get them to talk.
To get them to talk.
Get them to talk.
To
To get them to open up.
Exactly. To get them to talk / get them to open up to us. That's the only point of the first. So we should say anything and everything and anything we can think of to just get them open to talking to us. That's the point of the first 30 or 60 seconds. So none of these questions you ask at the beginning. Once they're open to talking to us and you're in a conversation, now you need to start finding stuff out. So, Mr. Seller, did you sign a listing agreement? Mr. Seller, is the house actually listed on the MLS, like for sale, online? Is it listed online for sale? Well, actually, I looked it up on Zillow while we were on the phone just now, Mr. Seller. It shows it's actually not listed. Are you going to be listing it like soon, or when are you going to be listing it? I'm just curious. So find out what's going on. Find out what's going on. Right?
Yeah, and John, if they say that they're about to list it, can we straight away pitch in for an appointment? Because in that case, before they list it, we can come by and give them an offer for the
Exactly.
property.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you're right, Ankit, and that's what you should do. So what do we need to know, though, Ankit, first before we set the appointment up? So let's say that the property's not online yet, listed on the MLS. What other thing do we need to confirm before we set an appointment up?
How much they owe?
Well, yeah, but regarding the agent. So I said it earlier. I've said it a few times. What else do we need to know? So if it's actually listed online, we need to know that. What else do we need to know as it relates to their agent?
You guys him or me?
Anyone?
Oh, I mean, listing agreement.
Exactly. Listing agreement.
I didn't want to.
Okay. Yeah. Ankit and Mark, listing agreement. Remember how I talked about that? That happens first. They sign a listing agreement first, and that commits them to working with their agent. When the listing agreement is signed, sometime after, they actually put the house online on the multiple listing service, where anyone in the public can see the house and make an offer on it. But the first thing that happens is the listing agreement signed. That's the most important thing to find out. So we have to know, have you actually signed the listing agreement yet with the agent?
If they haven't, I can save you 6%.
Right, if they haven't, just like Kevin said, we can save you possibly 6%.
Yeah. But if they have signed the listing agreement, then do we proceed with?
If they sign the listing agreement, then what's the next question? So what's the next thing after they sign the listing agreement that happens? And anyone can answer. After they sign the listing agreement, what's the next thing that happens?
Is it listed?
The house already listed on the market? Or?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
is it
Kevin
listed?
and Mark said it. Is it actually listed yet? So what if they signed a listing agreement, but it's not listed yet? What do you think that we could possibly try to do?
Could still make an offer because if it's not listed and they say that they signed an agreement, we don't really know that.
Right. So we can still make an offer.
Yeah.
Is it better for us? So let's say it's true
Okay.
that they signed a listing agreement, but it's not listed yet. Is it better for us to make an offer before the house is listed or after the house is listed?
Always before.
Kevin said before, which is correct. Why is it better to do it before the house is listed?
Well, for one, we'd be the first to make an offer, and then also, once again, well, you said that the listing agreement was signed. So, yeah, to be the first to make the offer.
Right. We'd be the first ones to make an offer. We
Yeah.
don't have any competition.
Yeah.
So we still want to make an offer, but if they sign a listing agreement, we have to make the offer through the agent. We can't do it directly to the seller. But that's fine. It's still better. So if they say we've signed a listing agreement, okay, is it actually listed yet on the MLS? And also, while you're asking this, look it up on Zillow and see if it's listed or not.
Yeah.
If it's not listed yet, you get the agent's phone number. So don't ever give them your information. Oh, Cedric Johnson, what's his number?
Okay.
Is it Johnson, John, S-O-N? Oh, no, I'll have him call you. Oh, no, it's no problem. It's no problem. I can give him a call. I've got a few minutes right after this.
Yep.
What's his number? So just don't give them get the agent's information.
Yeah.
So do you have a listing agreement signed? Is it actually listed online yet on the MLS? And then confirm that on Zillow. And then if it's not listed yet online, what do we want to do? I just said it.
We want to call the agent.
We want to call the agent.
Yep.
We want to get the agent's contact information, not give them ours.
So what?
And then if that's the case, then you can just call the agent and make them an offer at 60% of Zillow value
Okay.
and just see what they say. And if they're open to it, then that could be a deal, and then you let me know.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, this happens a lot in warm calls as well, John.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
So why don't you guys recap what I just told you about what we need to find out regarding the agent thing. So what are the things we need to find out with an agent?
So the first thing we need to find out if there's a listing agreement signed.
Right. First thing, is there a listing agreement signed? Correct. Make sure you guys wrote that down, Ankit and Mark. Okay. What else?
If they have a listing agreement signed, you want to check and verify through MLS and Zillow. A quick check would be Zillow. And if it isn't signed, if it isn't listed, get the agent's contact information.
Right.
Once you get the agent's contact information, you reach out to the agent and you submit an offer at 60% of Zillow value.
Correct.
And if they
But
bite,
along with checking it online, what else are we doing? So first step, we ask them if a listing agreement is signed. What's the second thing we ask the seller?
If it is listed or not.
Exactly.
Oh.
Is it listed or not?
Is it-
We don't just check it.
Yeah.
We do both. We
Okay.
ask if it's listed or not. Then we also check online to see if it's listed or not. If they say it's listed and it's not listed, what could we say?
That is not listed and still try to submit the offer, but maybe even say, hey, it's not listed. I know you said you had a listing agreement, but if you don't, I could save you 6%. Now, if you do have a listing agreement, could you provide me with the agent's information so that way we can submit an offer through the agent?
Right. So the first thing you said was the most important. Is I would just ask that. I would say, well, I'm looking online. It's actually not showing as listed. When did the house get listed online?
Okay.
You just want to kind of find out what's going on.
Yeah.
Just so you know. But either way, if a listing agreement is signed, we can't save them the 6%, which is fine. Then we want to get the agent's. So what's your agent's information? I'll give him a call and I'll make him an offer directly. We can still pay your closing costs, which a regular buyer won't do, so we can still save you money.
Okay.
So why did I add that part at the end, just there?
Because that's what's in it for them.
Right. What's the acronym for what's in it for them?
WIIFM.
WIIFM, right?
Shouldn't it be T?
Huh?
Shouldn't it be T at the end? What's in it for them?
WIIFT? Okay, that's right. I don't know what the end thing is. Okay,
What's in it for me?
Right. With
instead.
them, with them is what's in it for me. So that's why. So actually, it is M.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
it's like
see.
what's in it for me. Like you're putting that's what your prospect is saying is with them.
Yeah.
What's in it for me.
Okay.
So thank you, Andrew, for that point of confusion. So at the end, I added that thing about we can still pay your closing costs, Mr. Seller. What's in it for them? Why do we have to tell them what's in it for them? So when do we need to tell someone what's in it for them? In what situation do we need to tell someone what's in it for them?
Every time, every question, you're following up with a question and you're letting them know what's in it for them.
Right, but when specifically? When do we need to let a seller know what's in it for them?
When you're losing them?
When you're losing them, yes. When else? When do we need to let someone know what's in it for them? I
When
said
they're asking
earlier.
price.
No. Anchor to market.
What if they're not open? If they're
No.
if they're
No, I mean, yes, that's a good time if they're not open to it, but when specifically do we need to tell someone what's in it for them? When we are doing what?
Pushing for the appointment.
Pushing for the appointment.
Yes, when we're pushing for the appointment, but more generally, when we're
generally-
when we're asking them for something.
all right.
We're asking them for an appointment, so that would be a scenario.
Okay.
But more broadly, when we're asking them for something.
Okay. Gotcha. I said that.
So if we're going to ask you for something, we need to tell you what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Right. Also, if we're losing the seller, it's a good time to reiterate what's in it for them as well. We're getting an appointment, yes. So we're asking for so in this scenario with the agent, what are we asking for?
We're asking for contact information.
We're asking for them to give us the agent's contact information. So what do we need to tell them?
What's in it for them?
Why they should give us the agent's contact. What's in it for them to give us the agent's contact information?
Yeah.
Right? So anytime we ask for something, we tell them what's in it for them to do what we're asking them to do. What are they going to gain? What are they going to benefit from doing it?
Got it.
If we ask for another 30 seconds on the phone, what are they going to get from it, right? That's why we say the thing about, just take 30 seconds on the phone and we'll tell you exactly what an investor would offer you on the house. And then you'll know what an investor will pay, so you'll have that option available to consider if you do ever want to sell. So what's in it for them is they'll have an investor number and be able to consider that as an option if they do want to sell in the future. So that's a benefit, right, to them, right? They're benefiting from that information.
Yeah.
So we're asking for 30 seconds to give them that benefit. Right, so muffle up?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have a
And that's like sales 101, any selling is basically what applies.
Just thinking back to this last prior appointment that I got where a guy, the house was clearly distressed, and he said he wanted $500,000 for the house. I guess my question, because he didn't say that that's what other people were selling for the area, it was kind of like he had that number made up in his mind. So I guess how do I work around, based on what we were saying before, how do I work around trying to bring him back down to reality? Do I still use the same taglines of, do you know what houses are going for in the area?
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be the first thing. So,
Okay.
what are you looking for on the house? Do you have an idea about what kind of you're looking for on the house? Yeah, 500,000. Oh, okay. Is that like have other houses around the area like sold for that, or
Yeah.
Gotcha.
trailing or? That's
Yeah.
a trailing or,
Yeah,
right?
That's my
Right.
go-to.
So find out where that number's. We want to find out where's the number coming from.
Okay.
Well, yeah, my neighbor's house, sold for like $490, and mine's bigger, and it's got an addition and a garage. Then what would you ask?
That just lost me. I
My
would
neighbor's
say-
house sold for $490, but mine's bigger, and it has a garage. And then, Kid or Mark, you could say it if you know too. What would we ask?
Is it in similar condition as your neighbor's house?
Correct. But there's a question before that we ask. That's right. That's what we want to get to. What do we have to ask first?
What kind of condition was the house in that they were referring to?
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, has
And
it, has
what
it been
kind of
renovated?
condition? Mark, go ahead.
I was just saying, asking him if it has been renovated recently. Did they know?
Right, asking about the condition of the neighbor's. Okay, well, like what kind of don't even ask if it's renovated. That's a yes or no question mark instead of open-ended.
Oh, okay.
Remember, we want to ask, well, what kind of condition was the neighbor's house in? Was it like renovated, or was it like as is, or?
Okay.
We want to find out what kind of condition it's in, and then we want to find out is yours in that condition,
Gotcha.
right? And that's what you're getting to, but you have to take it one piece at a time.
Yeah, correct.
Right? And we want to find, well, theirs is a little nicer, but mine's pretty nice, and mine's bigger and it has a garage. Okay, got it. Then what would we ask? We went over this before.
What would the lease be they would consider if it was a cash offer?
Yes. So then that's the last thing, right? So you kind of try to poke around that, and if they still say, well, mine, is bigger and has a garage, it's almost as nice, theirs is renovated. Okay, got it, Mr. Seller. So even before that, I'd probably ask one more time. So like your house, the condition it's in now, what are you thinking is like the least that you'd kind of consider for it, for a cash as is offer?
Okay.
So basically, actually, what you said.
Okay.
So basically, if they're like firm on it, then we're saying basically, what's the least you'd consider for a cash offer as is?
Okay.
Well, we'll pay all the closing costs.
Okay. Got it.
Right. So a cash offer as is, we'll pay all the closing costs. What do you think is the least that you'd like consider for it?
Okay.
Right. So where'd your number come from? If it's like specific house, what kind of condition was that house or were those houses in? What kind of condition is yours in compared to those houses? Given the condition your house is in now, what do you really think it would sell for? What do you think it would sell for? And then your question, what's the least you would consider for a cash as is sale?
Okay.
So before, what's the least you take for a cash as is sale? You probably want to say, given the condition yours is in now, what do you think you would get for it on the market?
Okay.
So like, don't say, what do you want? Say, what do you think you would get for it on the market?
Based on the condition.
Based on the condition it's in now.
Okay.
And then you finally ask, what do you think is the least you take for a cash offer as is, but we'll pay all the closing costs?
Okay. And if it's still ridiculous, still get the appointment.
Yeah, still get the appointment.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's still ridiculous, still get the appointment, but at least you know that they really are probably going to be unrealistic, so we
Okay.
have a lot better information
Okay.
now to know if Mr. Turdy should go on it or not,
Okay.
because you've vetted their price a lot more. Is there anything else?
Not that we have to go over here.
All right.
I do have a comment on that specific one though. that I can say after.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks, John.
What is the comment?
Yeah, so so I called to one of the ones in particular. It's actually scheduled for today. The guy said he wanted 500, but it looked like a really good prospect. I called to vet because Mr. Turdy told me to try and see like what's going on, and that guy actually did want 500, and that guy like challenged him on it. I was like, oh, I see you saying you wanted 500. Like I'm just like I was like, where are you getting that? Like I'm just a little confused. That like seems a little high. It might be possible, but it seems a little high. And he's like that's just what I want. And I was like, okay, well, and it was just kind of like mumbling stuff. And then he's like, it might not be worth that now, but like it will be in the future. And then I was like, okay, well we can still meet, blah blah blah. So like I kind of challenged him. He got it out of him that like that's just the price he has in his mind.
Right. So at least and you also got from him. He knows that it's not what's worth now.
Yeah.
So at least, Okay. So that's not a good. So what was the question again?
I just kind of like challenged him on price. I don't remember the exact wording, but it was kind of like, I'm not really seeing anything that's sold for that.
Yeah.
Like, where are you getting that?
Yeah.
So maybe
that
just
just
kind
number
of
you
challenge
want?
the validity of that
I mean,
price.
they have to be careful on a phone call. They
Yeah.
can lose it at that point, but if you have enough rapport built, then yes, I would deliver.
Yeah, I had zero rapport with that guy because I had just called him, and then like 30 seconds into the call, I kind of got into it.